Hello and welcome to beautiful Auburn, Georgia. Auburn is located in Barrow County, about 45 miles east of Atlanta. Our coalition, Auburn Prevention Project, was started in 2011 as the Barrow County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition. We serve youth ages 11 through 18 and are working to prevent alcohol and marijuana use in Auburn. Auburn is a rural community whose population consisted of about 7,300 people. Demographically, the city's population is 71% Caucasian, 14% Hispanic or Latino, 9% Black or African American, and 4% Asian. The median household income is about $54,000, and poverty rate is 16%, which is higher than the state and national averages. Now, let us welcome you to Auburn.
Hey Leah, hit me with those prevention stats.
Hey Ben, did you know that 84% of youth at Appalachian High School choose not to drink alcohol?
Prevention works.
90% don't use marijuana.
Prevention works.
At the middle school, Westside Middle School, 94% don't use alcohol.
Prevention works.
And even better, 96% don't use marijuana.
Prevention works in Auburn, Georgia.
Hey, I'm Kay Manning, and I'm the Program Director for the Auburn Prevention Project. NCA was incredible. Although it looked a little different for us 2020 graduates, it was filled with information, and what a learning experience for all of us. And we brought it back. We brought it back to our coalition members.
I think one of the biggest things I gained was seeing the prevention process from start to finish through all the different products and how they guide the coalition through its work. I also really love the analogy of the fish in the pond.
The NCA introduced us to coalitions across the country and allowed us to really share ideas with one another and hone what we're doing here in our local community.
Prevention works.
So the products we have to turn in for the National Coalition Academy have really been integral in our coalition's work over the last few months. The first one we really worked on was the community assessment. We had a lot of data to collect, and it was a hard year to do it with COVID-19. So we were blessed to have wonderful coalition members that helped us along the way. One of our members, she's actually a local school board member, she took us on a tour around the city of Auburn, and we got to see neighborhoods and things that we had never seen before, which was awesome. Our coalition also did the community mapping activity. Ben McDaniel, our coalition chair, he was amazing at drawing a map of the community and putting in so many resources and stuff that we didn't know were there from the beginning. And then as far as our data collection process, we collected our local data all virtually this year. So we did key informant interviews, youth focus groups, parent surveys, and we looked at the Georgia Student Health Survey to gain all of our data. All these things went together to form our community assessment. After we completed our community assessment, we used that data to create our logic model. So we looked at our data, and we had our coalition members review our data, our evaluator review our data, and pick out which were those most influential pieces that really affected local conditions in Auburn. So I hate to say it, but Dorothy and Christina were right. I really do love logic models after the academy because they just make so much sense. We can look at our community as a whole with the logic model, and it really gives us a good indicator, a good map of where to go next. We use the information from our logic models to complete our strategic action plan. We didn't have a mission and vision statement for our coalition, so we had to do that virtually. So we came up with some ideas as a coalition and then sent out a poll, and that worked really, really well with our coalition members. So we now have a mission and vision, we have a clear direction of where we're going as a coalition. And then we were able to build our action plan based on the strategies that we know we need to implement to affect those local conditions. So our evaluation plan and our evaluation communication plan really are guiding for the coalition when we're implementing our strategies. Now we know what data we need to collect in advance, which is so awesome because we'll have good baseline data that in a couple of years we can come back and see how much our strategies have made an impact in the community. The evaluation communication plan also is a great way to connect with our key community partners like our parents, youth, school system, and police department. We have our plan right there of how we're going to get this data and information to these different sectors. The last coalition product we had to turn in for the Academy was a sustainability plan. It is so awesome that in year one as a coalition we already have a strong sustainability plan built from day one to build off of. So we know that we need to continue to build our resources, build capacity to serve the community, and also secure partnerships.
Prevention works! Hello, my name is Tanya Knox, and I am the parent representative for the Auburn Prevention Project, as well as the project coordinator for Drug Free Athens. The Strategic Prevention Framework, often called the SPIF, consists of 5 cycles and 2 encompassing elements that go throughout the whole process. First, you have assessment, then building capacity, planning, implementation, and evaluation. What we learned through the National Coalition Academy as Auburn Prevention Project, we learned that it was not only about what the community consists of as far as the people and the demographics, but also as far as our resources. So looking more in detail about who we have in the community that could help sustain and also help us reach our entire population through cultural competency. Assessment was really the part that we had to think the most about. We end up having conversations with people who are native from Auburn, as well as the school district and other community representatives to try to get a real feel for the Auburn community, as well as how the APP can help benefit this community. The youth here are very open and receptive to receiving the information. However, the county and the city is so small that there are not a lot of resources. Auburn doesn't even have an after-school program, so that was also something that we learned through our community assessment, as well as other programs that is lacking when you look at the surrounding counties and what other programs they have involved. The next stage of the SPIF, which is building capacity, is where we found all of those resources. So we have relationships with the police department, with the sheriff's department, the school district, Family Connection, as well as some other youth groups like 4-H in the community. We learned that through those assessments with the community, as well as building that capacity, is that we have a need for more resources. So also in the SPIF, we have cultural competency as well as sustainability, which are our 2 guiding principles that work throughout the cycle. So the Auburn Prevention Project looked at cultural competency as not only just the people, but also the different ethnic groups, languages, the diverse communities that we have within our own little community. And so the cultural competency part of our SPIF was really something that we had to deep dive into it. When it comes to sustainability, ultimately anyone who has a grant, we want to make sure we can sustain our programs. So we looked at sustainability not only from the aspect of DFC's funding, but also just seeing what it is that Auburn and APP can collaborate with.
Prevention works if you use it.
Since NCA, our coalition has experienced a lot of successes, one of which is having a more narrowed focus on the work that lays ahead of us. We have reinvigorated our coalition members and actually grown in numbers due to the leadership we received through NCA. Our lessons learned through NCA and afterwards include now using a tracking system to track coalition outputs. This has been fantastic, and what a great way to keep track of what we're doing and what we've succeeded in and where we need to put in some extra work. We also incorporated the action-oriented agenda, which has kept our meetings flowing, and everyone knows that we're there not just to hang out, but that we actually have things we need to accomplish. So thanks, NCA.
Prevention works.
So the NCA taught us to really hone in on the specifics of the issues that our community is facing, how to deal with them.
Prevention works!
Hi, I'm Melinda Shealy with the Spirit of Sharing Youth Action Team. Working with youth is very important if you let them have youth voice. Youth voice is very important because it helps them become more comfortable with your organization. It helps them to be able to speak in front of people. They love to tell you their ideas. And why would you plan something without the youth?
Prevention
Works! So we learned some amazing things during the NCA that we have already put into place and that we want to continue to build on. One thing we've been focused on is offering trainings for the community. So we've offered SPIF training, the Strategic Prevention Framework, cultural competency training, and a marijuana prevention training. Each of these trainings we held virtually due to COVID-19, but we had a great turnout. We had some great feedback from those trainings. So that's something we want to continue to do to build capacity in the community, build partnerships, and keep our community moving forward.
Prevention works when everyone takes a slice.